Good afternoon. Thank you for being present with us today on a very special afternoon as we honor those of our team that have gone above and beyond. I am Sergeant Mike Evans, and I would like to welcome you to this very special occasion as we honor those who are promoting to the next higher rank and recognize those who have demonstrated the Sheriff's Office core values through honorable, meritorious, and exceptional service. Would you rise, please, as the Sheriff's Office Honor Guard presents the colors and our national anthem is sung by Chaplain Keith Olivier. Please remain standing until after the invocation prayer is completed. All officers and uniformed personnel, military veterans, attend. Hut! Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight of the rebels we'd watched, with so cannonly streaming, and the rockets reckless of our bursting air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and all of the brave.
Order, arms. Join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, pledge to the next flag. Prayer will be brought to us by Chaplain David Bowen.
Let us pray. God, come before you today with a thankful heart as we pause to celebrate your blessing through promotions in the Lord. May you bless us and keep us. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. For an online version of your program, you have a QR code on the back. You can use your cell phone camera. The QR code will help you follow through our ceremony today. Today's ceremony celebrates the core values of our Sheriff's Office. Each team member recognized today aspires to personify the professionalism, accountability, compassion, and trustworthiness of the Sheriff's Office, the values that we hold dear, and strives to serve as a role model for their fellow team members and our community. We are blessed today to be joined by elected officials and public officials, and we are glad they are in our attendance for today's ceremony. As I call your name, would you please stand and let us recognize you being here. Representing the District Attorney's Office, Chief Mike Hawley. We're pleased to have with us also County Judge Mark Keel. We also want to welcome all supervisors, co-workers, and friends who have taken time out of their busy day to help recognize our team members. I would now like to introduce Sheriff Rand Henderson.
Thanks, Sarge. Thank you all for being here. Hey, I'm a fifth-generation Texan, so if you watched the pledge to the Texas flag, don't worry about it. Most of us didn't learn it until just a few years ago. It hasn't been around all that long, and we certainly didn't learn it in 7th grade Texas history when I was a kid. So it's kind of a new thing. So we're still working on that.
My apologies, sir.
No apologies. We all messed it up. We sounded terrible up there. So thank you all for being here. This is one of the, we do this twice a year. It's something that I'd always wanted to do, and now have the opportunity to do it to bring us all together and to celebrate promotions, to celebrate those that have advanced their career. And my favorite part is to celebrate some of the achievements and some of the heroic actions that our deputies and non-commissioned personnel as well have accomplished over the past 6 months. So, first of all, thank you all, deputies, telecommunicators, jailers, the backbone of our department and our support service, all of you for being here. Just want to thank also the families for being here. You give us your personnel, or our personnel, your family members, somewhere around 12 hours a day most days, sometimes longer. So it's a challenge. We know this business has always been a challenge. So I want to get a round of applause for any family members that are here. If it's your family, you better applaud really loudly. So thank you for being here. And I always love to recognize the volunteers that put this together. Administrative Services, that division does this every 6 months, and those guys do a phenomenal job. But also our Citizen Academy volunteers. You'll see them. They greeted you as you came in, handing out the event flyer, and they wear the white shirts. They have graduated from an extensive 13-week program, and they come back as volunteers, as members of the Alumni Association. They're also the backbone for Blue Elf, which, by the way, we'll be doing again this Christmas season. And I just want to also thank them so much for their volunteerism. Round of applause, please. This is just a great day. It's one of the finest days that we have here at the Sheriff's Office. So I'm not going to talk any longer because I want to get some awards out. Just congratulations to each of you, and congratulations to you family members who are here to honor your loved one. So let's hand out some awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff Rand Henderson has led the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to adopt a progressive promotional process, establishing attributes crucial for those desiring to advance their law enforcement career and take the next step in their professional journey. We are excited to recognize those who have met the promotional standards established for their job description and are now assuming a higher level of challenge and responsibility. Our newly promoted team members will be recognized by division. For those who are being promoted, when your division is called, please come forward and stand together as a group to the right of the stage. When your individual name is called, please proceed to the middle of the stage to have your badge pinned on by Sheriff Henderson and receive your certificate of promotion. Following this, you may return to your seat. The first promotion on our list today is Captain James Hook. He cannot be here with us today. We're excited to announce his promotion and have him assume his position over the Homeland Security Division. May we have a round of applause for Captain Bill. From the Jail Division and under the command of Major Andy Eason, the awards will be presented by Chief Deputy Damon Hall. Promoting to Civilian Detention Sergeant Christopher Dice. Promoting to Civilian Detention Sergeant Cody Wall. From the Administrative Services Division and under the command of Major Tim Cannon, promoting to Human Resource Manager Ashley Wiley. Promoting to Media Specialist Stephen Walker. Promoting to Administrative Assistant, Alyssa Childers. From the Patrol Division, East Precinct, and under the command of Captain Melvin Franklin. Promoting to Sergeant Jacob Eisenbinger. Promoting to Sergeant John Godden. Promoting to Sergeant Lee Knudsen. Promoting to Detective Samuel Harrison. Washington West Precinct, and under the command of Captain Kenny Dunlap. Promoting to Sergeant, Jeffrey Herman. Being recognized as a Deputy Specialist assigned to the Auto Theft Task Force, Travis Lawson.
Yeah, reach up for that one.
Promoting to Specialist in the Tow Truck Enforcement, Billy Shaw. Promoting to Administrative Assistant in the Auto Theft Task Force, Alondra Templeton. From the Criminal Investigative Division under the command of Captain Dan Norris, promoting to Quality Control Manager in the Crime Lab, Jessica Wright. Promoting to Property and Evidence Manager in the Crime Lab, Christina Lumpkin. Promoting to Crime Scene Investigator, Joseph Cole. Promoting to Crime Scene Investigator, Corey Rice. Promoting to Detective, Brannock Snellgrove. Being recognized as a Deputy Specialist attached to MocoNet, Lieutenant Jacob Rogers. From the Patrol Division, the Woodlands, and under the command of Captain Tim Holyfield, promoting to Deputy William Southern. From the Homeland Security Division, and under the command of Captain James Hook, the awards will be presented by Chief Damon Hall, promoting to Lieutenant Donald Goolsby. Recognized as a Deputy Specialist, assigned to the Tactical Flight as a Tactical Flight Officer, Brandon Boyd. Recognized as a Deputy Specialist attached to K-9, Caleb Leachy. From the Executive Division and under the command of Captain Mac McKelvey, promoting the Supervisor of Communications, Jody Palmer. Promoting to Intelligence Analyst, Angela Voss. Promoting to Records Specialist 2, Taylor Hunt. Promoting to Records Specialist 2, Lacey Lehman. From the Law Enforcement Services Division, and under the command of Captain Jimmy Malmay, promoting to Lead Mechanic and Fleet Services, Robert Portland. From the Finance Division, and under the command of Director Carol Shipman, promoting to Administrative Assistant, Ashner Pasetnik. accountability, compassion, and trust that have gone above and beyond in their service to our community. Today, receiving the Combat Cross Award are Sergeant Federico Cano, Deputy Matthew Wyatt, Deputy Dominic Trevino, Deputy Ricardo Garza, Deputy Jeremy Smith, and Deputy Timothy Silva. This nomination came from Lieutenant Brady Fitzgerald. On October 31st, 2021, units from the South Precinct were dispatched to a shots fired call at a residence in the Woodlands. While en route to the call, dispatch aired notes that a male was reportedly shot at the location and provided the suspect shooter's information and vehicle description. Shortly thereafter, Sergeant Federico Cano sighted the suspected vehicle and attempted to stop it, but the vehicle began to evade Sergeant Cano. During the pursuit, the driver of the fleeing vehicle stopped in the roadway, put his vehicle in reverse, and intentionally rammed Sergeant Cano's patrol vehicle, disabling it. The suspect then continued to evade and was pursued by other patrol units. The driver fled to a nearby apartment complex where he ran inside an apartment. Sergeant Cano, along with deputies Matthew Wyatt, Dominic Trevino, Ricardo Garza, Timothy Silva, and Jeremy Smith set up a perimeter around the apartment in which the suspect fled. As they approached the apartment, the suspect exited and discharged his firearm at the deputies. Deputies returned fire in an attempt to neutralize the threat. The suspect quickly retreated into the apartment. These deputies put themselves at great risk while assisting in moving nearby apartment tenants to a safe location. They continued to hold the perimeter and relieved by the Montgomery County Special Operations and Tactics Unit and the Crisis Negotiation Team. Sergeant Cano, Deputy Wyatt, Deputy Trevino, Deputy Garza, Deputy Silva, and Deputy Smith all acted professionally when dealing with and encountering an armed adversary. They conducted their duties while facing an imminent threat to their personal safety and demonstrated their bravery and selfless act of courage. Gentlemen, you are greatly appreciated. Receiving the Professional Award, Sergeant Randall Anderson and Sergeant Michael Berry, nominated by Lieutenant Scott Altens. During a traffic contact initiated by Sergeant Michael Berry, a 34-year-old male driver finally stopped after a brief pursuit. The driver was very confused and nervous. Sergeant Berry conducted SFSTs, which indicated a heightened level of intoxication. However, Sergeant Berry was not confident in the result, especially when a driver blew a 0.00 on a PBT. Sergeant Randall Anderson is certified as a drug recognition expert, was asked to conduct a secondary HGN testing along with lactic convergence testing. He advised Sergeant Berry that he had never seen nystagmus in a manner that this driver was displaying before. Both sergeants eventually got a hold of the driver's mother, who advised that the driver is illiterate and has several documented cognitive and learning disabilities. She described how his eyes behave in erratic movements when he is nervous, which was much more consistent with what was being observed on scene as opposed to intoxication. The driver was released from detention to the mother, who also took possession of the vehicle. The driver was not charged with a crime. These officers are to be commended for their extraordinary efforts in handling a situation involving a traffic stop with a motorist who did not initially pull his vehicle over and, through their investigative efforts, ultimately learned that he had cognitive disabilities impairing his behavior. Although this motorist exhibited what could be perceived by most as signs of intoxication, their skill level and experience guided him to reach the proper conclusion that his disabilities were what caused his unique behavior. This was an abnormal situation, but through diligent handling, they were able to properly recognize this for what it was and consequently place the driver in the care of a family member. Their professionalism and conduct brought credit upon themselves and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Congratulations and a job well done. Receiving the professional award, Deputy Joshua Everett and Deputy Specialist Clifford Wood. On October 31st, Deputy Joshua Everett conducted a traffic stop on a U-Haul that was reported as being stolen and was assisted on scene by Canine Specialist Clifford Wood. It was noted that inside the U-Haul were multiple malnourished and injured dogs in kennels, contaminated by their own urine and feces. Several dogs were severely injured and all had no food or water. The driver and passenger were detained, and one was discovered to have multiple warrants out of various agencies. The investigation by Deputy Everett and Specialist Wood revealed the wanted person had multiple cases out of the Houston Police Department for running a business claiming to transport dogs cross country, but not delivering them and selling them instead. It was discovered the animals in the vehicle were indeed stolen and worth thousands of dollars. It was the diligence and persistence of Deputy Everett and Specialist Wood during their 6-hour investigation that enabled the horrid treatment of these animals to end and return to their rightful owners. Congratulations to Deputy Joshua Everett and Specialist Clifford Wood for receiving our professional. Receiving the professional award, Deputy Christopher Arnold, Deputy Jeffrey Lackey, and Detective Tony Madison. This nomination was by Sergeant David Foreman. On February 11th, 2002, at approximately 12:14 p.m., Deputies Christopher Arnold and Jeffrey Lackey were dispatched to a theft at the Tiffany & Company jewelry store located within the Market Street shopping district in the Woodlands. Deputies learned a male suspect had obtained 2 rings, ran out of the store, and drove away from the Market Street shopping area. The value of the rings was determined to be $128,900. While processing the scene, these deputies were able to locate latent prints and a single facial hair, all which were submitted as evidence. Detective Tony Madison was assigned to this case, and as part of his investigation, a forensics match was found on that single facial hair. The match identified a male in Houston who also matched the physical descriptors of the suspect who took the rings. Additionally, it was found this suspect had 12 active felony warrants through multiple agencies, including an incident where he was in a shootout with employees at a jewelry store in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 2 of the warrants were for aggravated robbery and aggravated theft through MCSO. Detective Madison contacted the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force, and on July 1st, 2022, the suspect was located in Houston and taken into custody. Multiple agencies were involved in investigating the suspect's criminal activities, and Detective Madison, Deputy Arnold, and Deputy Lackey displayed great teamwork from the moment the investigation began until the time of the suspect's arrest, in cooperating and coordinating with all the agencies involved with not only this event, but also all the events prompted by the suspect in the jurisdiction of the other agencies. Detective Madison, Deputy Arnold, and Deputy Lackey are shining examples of what stands on that thin blue line daily and guards Montgomery County Sheriff's Office from crime and violence. Well done. Receiving the Professional and Compassion Awards, Deputy Jared Drew. This nomination came from Sergeant Kenneth Provenzano. On July 8, 2022, Deputy Jared Drew was dispatched to a welfare check, and upon arrival found an elderly couple and their 2-year-old grandson having vehicle troubles on the side of the road. The grandfather had just gotten out of the hospital with a partially amputated foot, and the family was having some difficult times. Deputy Drew attempted to help start the family's vehicle with a jump box, but was unsuccessful. He then went to a local gas station and purchased a set of jumper returned to the scene, got the vehicle running so the family could return home. Deputy Drew clearly demonstrated the Sheriff's Office core value of compassion and professionalism, which is so important to our agency's mission. Deputy Drew, you are appreciated. Receiving the Compassionate Award, Deputy Brady Farr. This nomination was submitted by Deputy Jacob Currington. On August 4th, 2022, Deputy Brady Farr responded to a welfare check concerning juveniles operating an ATV. Deputy Farr located the juveniles who were attempting to get to a pond to fish, but noted the ATV had lost its brakes. Deputy Farr helped the juveniles repair the brakes on their ATV to ensure the safety of these young people, but also checked on them later and supported their end-of-summer efforts by purchasing lemonade from their homemade stand. Congratulations, Deputy Farr, for receiving the Receiving the Professional and the Compassionate Awards, Deputy Austin Forder, nominated by Sergeant Bill Sharp. On April 4th, 2022, Deputy Austin Porter responded to a call where a male was reported to be the victim of a cybercrime. Shortly after taking the report and leaving the scene, a second call was received at the same address where the father of the victim reported his son had just shot himself. Deputy Porter returned to the residence and found the original victim has sustained a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The family's victim was naturally hysterical, and Deputy Porter was able to calm them down while at the same time providing first aid to the victim. Tragically, the victim did not survive. But Deputy Porter's actions that day were so noted by the family that they reached out to him and asked if he would attend their loved one's funeral. Other deputies and detectives on scene also noted Deputy Porter's actions that day went above and beyond in assisting this traumatized family. Deputy Austin Porter embodies the core values of professionalism and compassion. Congratulations. Receiving the Professional and Compassionate Awards, Deputy Jacob Rogers, nominated by Detention Officer Calvin Blake. On June 22nd, 2022, Deputy Jacob Rogers responded to a call where a male juvenile was being strangled by his drunk father. Deputy Rogers arrived on location and quickly stabilized the scene. Arriving family members were very impressed with the professionalism of Deputy Rogers that evening. The assaulted juvenile and his younger brother were released to those family members. Deputy Rogers, though working the night shift, contacted the victim's mother the next day and assisted her in setting up an appointment at Children's Safe Harbor for a forensics interview. He met the family there to support them and contacted Children's Protective Services so an investigation by that agency could begin. Deputy Rogers worked tirelessly to keep the family updated and collected enough evidence to obtain an arrest warrant for the victim's father. As noted by Detention Officer Blake, whose family was involved in this situation, quoting, "I have seen many officers do their jobs, but few in my experience deserve to be recognized for their excellence as Deputy Rogers should. This is just an example of his continued commitment to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and citizens he serves. We need more just like him." Congratulations. Receiving the Compassionate and Professional Awards, Deputy Brandon Boyd, Deputy Lauren Holmeyer, and Deputy Dominique Elrod, nominated by Lieutenant Keith Funderburg. On July 17, 2022, Deputies Boyd, Holmeyer, and Elrod responded to a call involving a pediatric cardiac arrest due to drowning. Prior to first responders arriving, the 3-year-old victim was found unresponsive in the bottom of a pool. Other agency first responders clearly noted the chaotic scene, understandably caused by the family's extreme emotional stress from finding the unresponsive child and witnessing CPR being administered. While attempting to resuscitate the child, Deputy Boyd, assisted by Deputy Elrod, assumed critical roles in assisting with CPR protocol by continuing chest compressions on the child when they were needed. A paramedic later on scene wrote, quoting, "I noticed Deputy Brandon Boyd taking the initiative with providing the best assistance for our young patient." Deputy Holmeyer and Deputy Elrod managed this emotionally charged scene and were able to calm family members during this tragic ordeal. Each deputy's positive actions that day had a direct impact on how our community sees us as deputies as well as human beings. While the outcome of this emergency medical care provided by paramedics and first responders was tragic, Deputies Boyd, Holmeyer, and Elrod's actions that day showed the compassionate and professional spirit embraced by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Well done. Receiving the Compassionate Award, Detention Officer Jeremiah Dowden, and receiving the Professional Award, Deputy Specialist Anson Drake and Deputy Specialist Amy Blackwelder. These were nominated by Sergeant Richard Durbin. On September 6, 2022, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office deputies, along with assisting agencies, responded to the National Force regarding a missing male who is described as being suicidal. Detention Officer Dowden, while off duty, heard of this incident and responded to the scene to assist. Upon learning that horses could be useful in the search, Detention Officer Dowden began to enlist the help of other civilians and made arrangements to bring some horses to the scene. Deputy Specialists Drake and Blackwelder arrived on scene and organized a search plan utilizing their training and experience, and within an hour, along with Detention Officer Dowden and other volunteers, were able to locate the missing male. The coordination efforts of Detention Officer Dowden with the expertise and leadership of Specialist Drake and Blackwelder were essential to the successful conclusion of this event. Congratulations to these. On July 8, 2022, 911 dispatch received multiple calls about a female lying on top of the concrete wall of the Grand Parkway flyover of Interstate 69, an overpass that is about 60 feet above the ground. Deputies Hogue and Mosley responded and located the female, who had not yet noticed their arrival. These deputies were able to approach her by stealth, grab her, and bring her to safety. She later informed Deputies Hogue and Mosley that she was, quote, working up the nerve to jump off the bridge. Disregarding their own safety and working quietly and quickly, they were able to pull her from the wall and get her transported to a local hospital for a mental health evaluation. Deputy Nicholas Hogue and Deputy Troy Mosley are to be commended for their life-saving response. Congratulations. Receiving the Life-Saving Award, Detention Officer Russell Cater, Detention Officer Richard Mabry, Detention Officer Jason Neal, and Detention Officer Jonathan Holland, nominated by Detention Sergeant Aisha Davis. On August 27th, MCSO jail staff was notified of an attempted suicide in the housing area of B Quad, where an inmate was reported unresponsive. Detention Officers Cater, Mabry, Neal, and Holland quickly responded and administered CPR and first aid. The inmate began breathing as a result of these actions and was taken by EMS for further treatment. Cater, Mabry, Neal, and Holland did not panic and quickly moved into action where their training and effective actions saved a life. These dedicated detention officers are prime examples of the high level of care and competence provided to all of our inmate population. Well done, Detention Officer Cater, Detention Officer Mabry, Detention Officer Neal, and Detention Officer Holland. Receiving the Meritorious Service Award is Sergeant Lee Smith, nominated by Lieutenant Paul Haas. dedication to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office Field Training Program. In those 2+ decades, his work has led countless numbers of successful deputies who have now excelled in their own careers. Currently serving as MCSO Field Training Coordinator, Sergeant Smith is in a position to take our FTO program to a higher level. Recognizing that the current and dated FTO reporting system was not only difficult to use, but also required several layers of redundancy with paper copies, Sergeant Smith began researching new systems, testing their feasibility, and sat through numerous vendor and product meetings to identify which system would best meet MCSO's growing FTO needs. Ultimately, the Shield Lepta system was selected as the most efficient, cost-effective, and mission-essential product, and Sergeant Smith then began a testing phase to bring the system online for use. After testing the new program, he then had to implement a new training process for the current FTOs and their trainees. As if that were not enough for training new employees in patrol, Sergeant Smith was also able to assist with the FTO programs in the jail, records, dispatch, and with the new sergeant's FTO training. It is noted that the Shield Lepta system brought on board by Sergeant Smith not only lifts our FTO training forward, it has also led to a significant budgetary savings over the previous system. Congratulations and well done, Sergeant Smith. We have a special recognition for Sergeant Randall Anderson, Deputy Specialist Kirsten Olwinski, Deputy Anthony Ashley, Deputy Michael Aldrich, Deputy Tiffany Fry, Deputy Brian Smith, Deputy Ryan Graves, and Deputy Matthew White. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is proud to have been recognized by MAD Texas, that's Mothers Against Drug Driving, during the July 2022 Take the Wheel banquet. It is through the continued hard work of our deputies who diligently and passionately go out every day with the mission of making our communities a better place. Thanks to the work of these deputies, not only were potential innocent victims saved from the life-altering and often life-ending tragedies we often see in DWI-related incidents, but the suspects who were arrested may have also been saved from the same fate. Being recognized by the Mothers Against Drug Driving, please show your appreciation for Deputy Anthony Ashley, Deputy Michael Aldrich, Deputy Tiffany Fry, Sergeant Randall Anderson, Deputy Brian Smith, Deputy Nathan Kearns, Deputy Brian Graves, Deputy Specialist Kirsten Olwinski, and Deputy Matthew White. Congratulations. We have one final special recognition that we would like to acknowledge today. During the month of October, under the leadership of Sheriff Henderson, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office honors those who have become afflicted with breast cancer. Our pink badges that we wear and our civilian employees have purchased pink t-shirts to support, show our support with that. All the proceeds from the badges and t-shirts go to support the Canopy Cancer Survivor Center. We have with us today a representative from that organization. Would you please stand and let us recognize you? Thank you for being with us today. For those of us that participated in the event, knowing that this organization helps so many beyond our care, we are thankful and glad to participate. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our promotion and awards ceremony. Our thanks to all elected officials and special guests for celebrating accomplishments we've seen today in the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. We deeply appreciate your presence. There's one final recognition that we would like to give. If you are a family member or an invited guest of anyone who today has received an honor, would you please stand and let us recognize you? Please stand. We want to thank you for your contribution concludes our ceremony today. And please know that the backdrops will be available for pictures later. You're also invited to stay and remain for refreshments that are provided by our Alumni Association over there. Once again, congratulations to all those being promoted and to all our honorees today. Thank you, God bless, and you are dismissed.